Hello everyone, welcome back to Travel and Transform. If you've been a green card holder for at least 5 years and are ready to become a US citizen, this video is for you. The major steps are: first, determine if you are eligible to become a US citizen. Second, prepare your Form N-400 application for naturalization. Third, submit your Form N-400 and pay your fees. Fourth, go to your biometrics appointment. Fifth, complete the interview. Sixth, receive a decision from USCIS on your Form N-400. Seventh, receive a notice to take the oath of allegiance. Eighth, take the oath of allegiance to the United States. And finally, understand the rights and responsibilities of US citizenship. In today's video, I'll show you exactly how to complete the USCIS Form N-400 online, step by step. I'll cover how to check if you're eligible, documents you'll need before you start, creating your USCIS online account, completing every section of Form N-400, uploading supporting documents, reviewing and submitting your application, and finally, paying the filing fee. This video will only cover N-400 application. I'll cover the citizenship interview, English test, civics test, and oath ceremony in separate videos. Let's get started. The first step is to check if you're eligible to apply for citizenship. Before spending time filling out the application, make sure you're eligible. You can file Form N-400 up to 90 days before completing 5 years as a permanent resident. To check your eligibility, go to the official USCIS website. Click on Citizenship from the menu, then select Learn About Citizenship. Scroll down and click on 10 Steps to Naturalization. Here, you can see the complete 10-step naturalization process. To check whether you are eligible to apply, click on Step 2, open the Eligibility link, and click on Determine My Eligibility. The Eligibility tool will now ask you a series of questions. Answer each question truthfully. The first few questions ask whether one or both of your parents are US citizens. Your age, whether you are a member of the US Armed Forces, whether you are a lawful permanent resident, if you have ever obtained LPR status, and when you became a permanent resident. Next, the tool will ask some questions about your residence and travel history. For example, it will ask whether you have traveled outside the United States during the past 5 years and whether you have moved to a different address within the past 3 months. Let's first select that you have not taken any trips outside US after obtaining the green card, and that you have been living in your current state for at least 3 months. Based on your answers, the tool may indicate that you appear eligible to apply for naturalization. Now, let's go back and change the answer to say that you recently moved from your current address within the past 3 months. The tool may then ask additional questions based on your circumstances. Depending on your answers, the tool may indicate that you are not currently eligible to apply. Now let's look at another situation. Suppose you traveled outside the United States during the past 5 years, but none of your individual trips lasted more than 6 months, and you have met the 3-month state residence requirement. Based on your other answers, you may still be eligible to apply for naturalization. But what happens if one of your trips outside the United States lasted more than 6 months? In that situation, the eligibility tool will ask additional questions about the length and circumstances of your absence. Read every question carefully and select the answer that accurately matches your situation. Depending on the length of your trip and your individual circumstances, the tool may indicate that you may or may not be eligible to apply for naturalization at this time. Remember, this online tool provides general guidance based on your answers. Your final eligibility for naturalization is determined by USCIS after reviewing your Form N-400 application and immigration history. Before opening Form N-400, have these documents ready: green card or permanent resident card, driver's license or state ID, social security number, current passport, expired passports if available. Travel history for the last 5 years. Travel history for the last 5 years is very important. If you traveled outside the United States during the past 5 years, Make sure you collect the exact departure and return dates, the countries you visited, the purpose of each trip, and the total duration of each visit. As a permanent resident, you should generally avoid staying outside the United States for more than 6 months during the required residency period. If any single trip lasted more than 6 months, you may need strong supporting documents to prove that you did not break your continuous residence in the United States. Otherwise, your naturalization application may be delayed or even denied. Address history. You will also need to provide your complete address history for the past 5 years. Make a list of every address where you have lived, including the city, state, and the dates you lived at each location. If you move to a different city or state during this period, keep the details of your previous and current addresses ready. Make sure the dates are accurate and there are no unexplained gaps in your address history. Employment history. The same applies to your employment history. You will need to provide details of your employment for the past 5 years, including the name and address of each employer, your occupation, and the dates you worked there. If there are any gaps in your employment history, be prepared to explain what you were doing during that period, such as being unemployed, studying, retired, or taking care of your household or family. Marriage certificate, if applicable, divorce decree, if applicable, selective service registration, if applicable. If you were required to register for selective service, keep your registration information or proof of registration ready. This generally applies to men who lived in the United States between the ages of 18 and 25 and were required to register based on their immigration status. If you are currently serving in the U.S. Armed Forces or are a U.S. military veteran, keep your military service records and discharge documents, if applicable, ready as well. Court records, if applicable. Having everything ready will make the application much easier to complete. Navigate to USCIS.gov. Click Sign In. If you don't already have an account, click Create an account. Verify your email address. You will receive an email. Click the link in your email to verify your email address. Review the terms, then create a password. Keep the backup code safe in case you lose access to your account. Fill out the security questions. Once you're signed in, you will be ready to fill out the application for naturalization. Now click on Forms and then click on N-400 Application for Naturalization. Click on File Online. Next, you have to create an account, either as an individual applicant or through a legal representative. Select which form you want to submit. Search for N-400 Application for Naturalization and click Continue. You can upload a PDF version, but in this video we will fill out the application online. Click on Go to the Application for Naturalization. These are all the requirements for filing Form N-400. Read all of this before you click Next. These are the guidelines for filling out the form. Click Start to start filling out the form. The first question is, what is your basis for eligibility? Check which category applies to you and then click Next. Next, enter your full legal name. Then, answer whether you have ever used any other names or nicknames and whether you want to change your legal name. If yes, provide the details. Next, provide the contact details USCIS can use to reach you. Enter your phone number, email address, and physical address. The physical address must be your current physical address. You also need to provide the date since when you have been living at that particular address. The application also asks for your mailing address. Next, you have to provide details about where you have lived during the last 5 years. Provide the details by clicking Add Address. Enter all the information, like when you moved in and moved out of each address. Next, you have to indicate whether you need any special accommodations because of a physical or developmental disability or mental impairment. Next, provide your date of birth and other personal information, including whether your mother or father is or was a US citizen. Next is your immigration information. Provide your country of citizenship or nationality, the date you became a lawful permanent resident, and your A number, which you can find on your green card. Next, you have to provide your social security number. If you have one, enter your SSN. You will also be asked whether you have a USCIS online account number. If you have one, provide the number here. Next is your biographical information. Select your sex, ethnicity, race, height, and weight. Provide your best estimate of your current weight as well as your eye color and hair color. Next, provide details if you have attended school in the past 5 years or worked. If you are employed, then provide employment history for the last 5 years. Enter the information that applies to your situation. Next, provide travel history. If you traveled outside the United States during the last 5 years, provide the details of each trip, including the country you traveled to, the date you left, and the date you returned. Next is your marital history and information about your children. If you have children, provide their information by clicking the plus button and adding the required details. If you do not have children, move forward to the next section. After that, you will go through a series of questions about good moral character and eligibility. These include whether you have ever claimed to be a US citizen, registered to vote, served in the armed forces of another country, failed to pay taxes, been a member of the Communist Party, been involved in a gang or illegal activities, or been associated with certain extremist organizations. The application will also ask whether you have been involved in other prohibited activities, including prostitution, persecution, weapon training, genocide, torture, or killing, or whether you ordered, incited, assisted, or otherwise participated in such activities. You will also need to provide information about any criminal records. If you have ever been arrested, cited, detained, or confined by law enforcement anywhere in the world, make sure to upload any court-related documents. If you have ever practiced polygamy, forged credit cards, engaged in illegal gambling, or failed to pay alimony or provided any false information to the government or ever been deported. There is a long list of moral character and eligibility questions, so read every question carefully and answer truthfully. The application will also ask about Selective Service registration and whether you were required to register based on your age, or whether you have served in the U.S. Armed Forces, were exempted from service, or are currently serving in the armed forces. Next, the application asks whether you support the Constitution of the United States, whether you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States, and whether you are willing and able to take the oath of allegiance and are willing to bear arms or to take part in non-combatant services on behalf of the United States. Remember that, as part of the oath of allegiance, you will be asked to renounce allegiance and fidelity to any foreign state or sovereignty of which you have previously been a subject or citizen. Next, you have to upload all the required documents. Common documents include your green card, driver's license, marriage certificate, divorce certificate, any court orders, and police reports. Make PDFs of the documents and upload them to the application. The current filing fee as of June 2026 is $710. Next, you have to review the entire form. Take a snapshot or print a copy of the application and go through every single line carefully to make sure all the information is correct. If you find any incorrect or incomplete information, go back to the relevant section, click on Edit section, and correct the information before submitting the application. Make sure everything is correct before moving forward. Next, you have to electronically sign the application. Enter your full name as your electronic signature and then proceed to pay the application fee. You can pay using either a bank account or a credit card. I would recommend paying through a bank account because there are no additional fees associated with this payment method, but you can also pay by credit card. Once you complete the payment and click Continue, and you will receive your receipt in your email and get a status message that your application was successfully submitted. You can go to My Cases to see the status message. You can also check the progress of your case by clicking on My Progress. The next tab, Case History, will display the progress of your case in chronological order. And finally, you can see USCIS notices in the Documents tab. For example, a receipt notice once you submit the application. You will get all these documents in the mail. Once your biometrics interview and oath ceremony is scheduled, USCIS will upload the notices here. You should log into your USCIS account to check on these updates periodically. Save a copy of the completed N-400 application by clicking on the PDF for your records. That's it. Your US citizenship application has now been submitted through USCIS. In the next videos, I'll walk you through everything that happens after submission, including what happens after you file Form N-400, how to prepare for your biometrics appointment, how to prepare for the naturalization interview, the English reading and writing test, the 100 civics questions and interview tips, the oath ceremony, and becoming a US citizen. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Travel and Transform for more step-by-step immigration guides. If you have any questions about the N-400 application, leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to help. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.